Today, I'll be talking about the psychology behind the rise of women murdering their husbands. Lately, we are just seeing this rise of women murdering their boyfriends or their husbands, and all over media, it's just there. Taking the Sia girl case or every type of case these days, it's just about highlighting the fact that women have become murderers in this generation. Gen Z is falling, feminism is behind all this, and I'm going to tell you about this one phenomena that can be seen. It's called the availability heuristic. Okay, so these two psychologists named Daniel and Amos Tversky have said that the people often estimate the frequency or probability of an event based on the ease with which examples comes to mind and not on objective data. So I'll just explain this with an example. Let's just take the Air India Ahmedabad crash. Okay, after that video circulated, and after that incident, many people have started believing that flying is very dangerous, and it just like people have this fear in their mind now. Whereas, statistically, one of the safest modes of transport is flights. So, this is what availability heuristic is all about. Now, how does this implement in the psychology behind the rise of women murdering their husbands? It is not just the fact that I'm talking about or I'm siding with one gender. I'm definitely not. I feel like every human life and its value is something that I cannot decide, that nobody can decide, and murderers and terrorists, they are not based on gender or religion ever. But it's just what makes me sad is the fact that we have just completely shifted from the kind of conversations we should be having, and have shifted towards this narrative of just one particular gender is murdering the opposite gender, or it's just one particular religion is behind all the terrorism in this world. I also want to point out something here, which is social media is one of the most powerful manipulative tools, and the fact that people knowing about this are still engaging with it. I'm not saying that I don't use social media, I definitely use it, but I've started noticing these patterns because algorithms, I feel like I have understood them at the core. Working for social media is also something that I've started realizing, that how things are made. Everything is just paid, just all paid form of communication out there. And it's just so sad to see how we are just for views, we are just targeting, completely changing this narrative, and have completely moved towards hatred, spreading hate information, spreading false information. I don't think people even searched about the data or statistics about crimes happening on a daily basis, especially in India, which is, I feel like, one of the most sensitive countries. So I wanted to take a look into the data, and I saw that NCRB released in 2023 data about how many murders and assaults have happened against women. So around 27,700 in total murders happened in the year 2023, and around 1.3 lakh cases of cruelty and assault by husbands or their relatives were registered against women. I don't have a data of 2024, 2025, 2026 as well, which is kind of sad. But I have to make this clear again. None of this excuses the fact that women out there are committing crimes. But I think this is what I'm trying to talk about, that we should not target one gender. We should be having these conversations that why are people in general are just moving towards and just finding the fact that killing someone is just easy. It's the fact that this thought coming to your mind itself is a dangerous thing that we should be taking a look into, having a conversation about. I think the current media of India is just absolute nonsense. Stupid. Also, I just feel like that today Gen Z has become one of the easiest targets whenever a social problem has occurred. We have been just told that this generation is lazy and all of that stuff, but I do feel like that this has been happening with every generation. There was a time that people thought comic books would like make criminals, that television was ruining families, that video games are not a proper way to play games, and it's just like something that has been happening with every generation. So before we go out there, talk and accuse specific gender, religion, and just take a moment to like reflect and just ask yourself, is this something that is based on evidence, or is this something that I'm talking about that was showed to me by my algorithm? Because I feel like that itself is an answer.